Hello, everyone. Hope your 2026 is off to a good start. Here I am today to talk about Canadian nationals, in which the pairs were pairs, the dance was dance, the women were women, and the men were actually quite good, which is something I can't say every day, but I'm happy to say it now. Before we get going, recall my disclaimer that I'm a rando, don't take me seriously, except when I'm raving about Anthony Parody free skate choreo sequence, etc. Okay? Now let's start off with the junior woman, the only junior discipline I watched because the junior competition happened during the weekdays while I was busy working. Thank you to whoever scheduled this event for putting the junior woman late in the day. I have a little blog post up about them, so if you're already familiar, feel free to skip ahead. Leah Cho came in first, scoring 199.6. What can we say except wow? She would have taken the silver in the senior women's competition. She did what she's been doing throughout the second half of the season, putting all her combos in the second half of the program and doing every element cleanly as well as to a high level. Every time we see her, there's also a little more refinement to the program choreography and presentation. Very excited to see Leah on the junior circuit next season, where I'm sure she'll bring home some hardware. Second was Victoria Baraktina. Usually it's the Qs and unders that bring Victoria's scores down. So it was good to see just one Q, along with an edge warning, on her short program score sheet here. This was awarded to the first jump in her backloaded triple-lutz triple toe. Knowing the free skate had a lot more jumps and more opportunities for calls, I held my breath, unsure if she could hold on to her second place position. But she absolutely did. She only received one call, a Q on her final jump, the triple flip, securing a 110.29 for the free and 171.93 overall. She had a Junior Grand Prix assignment this season, and I wouldn't be surprised to see her representing Canada internationally again next season. As for this season, she still has Junior Worlds ahead of her. In third place was Quinn Startek with 157.93. Anyone who follows Canadian juniors, so like 3 people, will know that Quinn has been having a breakout season as a new junior, already earning an international medal. As a result, my hopes for Quinn were high going into this competition. In the short, she had an unfortunate fall on the first jump of what was supposed to be her combo. She landed her triple loop and double axel, but with no combo I was wondering how low the score would be. I was pleasantly surprised that she still scored over 50 points. In the free, she only had one issue, a fall on a triple flip, which was also downgraded. Most impressive to me was how she landed her double axel Euler triple sal. It's her final jumping pass, and I can't imagine how tired she must be at that point. I'm sure Quinn will learn a triple-triple in due time, which will only increase her score potential. In the meantime, it's certainly not holding her back. In fourth place was Kalissa Adlam with 157.78. The one thing I remember about Kalissa is that she had the highest scoring choreo sequence in the free skate at Next Gen. Her performance quality really stood out in the short here at Nationals. Kalissa has been up and down in the free this season, but I knew in advance she was capable of posting a 150-point total score. And she outdid my expectations. Although she fell twice, the elements she executed received good GOE, especially her opening triple lutz that earned 1.1 GOE. Her PCS marks are in the mid to high 6s overall. Kalissa is definitely on an upwards trajectory, and we should watch to see how she performs next season. In fifth was Megan Valliere, scoring 150.53. From the limited times I've seen Megan this season, she has been a strong short program skater but struggles a bit in the free. This turned out to be true once again, falling twice in the free and having other jump issues. She was clearly upset after the free, having fallen from her third place standing after the short, and I felt quite bad for her. Hopefully she can gain some consistency in the free skate next season. However, all in all, her 5th place finish is extremely good. Sixth was none other than Ushia Gonzalez Abreldes, scoring 148.65. Ushia did a triple lutz double toe in the short, as well as a clean double axel and triple loop, laying down a pretty clean skate overall. She did just have a bit of an issue on her second to last spin. To my peasant eye, I can already see improvement in her program components, which I think the judges agree with, as she received a handful of marks in the high 5s and even some 6s across the 3 categories. I was curious to see what Ushia would do in the free, given her propensity to go all out on the triple jumps in the long program. She did not disappoint. She ranked 4th overall in the free, her only errors a Q on a double axel and a fall on a triple flip that was also given an edge call, and an under. The opening triple-triple was especially nice. She has a very tight air position. The PCS improvement was evident in the free as well, with most scores in the 5s and even some 6s. In 7th was Ksenia Kruzkevich, scoring 144.64. Ksenia again didn't have the clean skates surely she was hoping for, but as always, she never let up on the performance. I've talked before about the difficulties she's had recently both on and off the ice, and how her resilience is inspiring. Wishing her the best for next season. Skipping down the list just a little bit for one more mention, in 9th was Chantal Elizabeth Chipilo, scoring 134.52 overall. Chantal must be mentioned because her triple-toe with rippin' arms was the triple-triple of the short for me. Such a big, gorgeous combo. Now, do we agree with the judges that the second jump was fully rotated? Maybe not, but honestly, I can't bring myself to care. Unfortunately, she fell on her triple loop, which we saw landed during the warm-up. She also successfully executed her opening combo, double axel triple toe, in the free. Her PCS scores ranged from high 4s to about 6 at this competition. Chantal is a powerful skater, and that really stands out to me. Other skaters who have huge potential just had some unfortunate bad skates, including Hannah Quinn, Kamila Volkova, and Kaylee Sun. Overall, the junior women skated an interesting and engaging event. Now, moving on to the seniors. Let's start with the pairs because I don't have too much to say about them. Miyu Yunoki and Tristan Taylor placed 6th with 164.59. I love Miyu's personality and vibe and hoping they only go up from here, but they're definitely still a new team for now. Jasmine Desrochers and Kieran Thrasher scored 166.71 and came in 5th. Really hoping for more consistency on some of the technical elements for this pair. I noticed the commentary kept highlighting that they have the look, which I think refers to the fact that both of them have generational face cards, so I would have to agree. Their story is super neat as well. Kieran used to play hockey and Jasmine was a recreational skater until 18. I mean, how can you not root for them? Ava Kemp and Yonatan Elizarov achieved a stellar 4th place with 186.19 points. They were actually 3rd after the short, but did have a fall and messy side-by-side jump sequence in the free. Otherwise, it was an excellent showing, and they might have held on to 3rd had not Kellyanne Laurent and Luca Etier skated absolutely lights out in the free, pulling off the free program of their lives to score 197.41 overall and actually place 2nd in the free. This pair had the skate of the night, and it was amazing to see. You might think, if you've not heard the news, that Deanna and Max of course were 1st in the free. But alas. Deanna had some sort of illness that prevented her from keeping food down over the past couple of days, and she said that she progressively felt weaker throughout their disaster free skate when interviewed for In the Loop. It was indeed a disaster. Messy side-by-side jumps including a fall, issues on both throws. It just wasn't enough to place above Leah and Trent, who nabbed the gold despite a less than perfect free with issues on the side-by-side jump sequence and the throw triple loop. Nevertheless, returning to their gladiator program served them well, and they stood on top of the podium with 204.14, Deanna and Max a few points behind with 201.36. On to the men now, where we had a much better competition than last Nationals, where the winning score was 240.35 from Roman Sadovsky, and of course the Nationals before that as well, where the winning score was 232.15 from Wesley Chu. I'll just go from the top down here because there aren't too many surprises. Stephen Gogolev jumped his way to his first senior national gold medal, scoring 275.5. Not that he didn't receive high PCS as well, marks mostly in the 8s. I would honestly agree with his scoring, at least in the composition and presentation categories for his short, which to me was the standout program of the event. I have not personally enjoyed this crime-themed short until he performed it here at Nationals, and he really performed it. I went from a hater to a lover in the span of 3 minutes. You know, I am just not immune to when a skater mimes shooting a gun as the sound of a gunshot plays in the music. It will be interesting to see if his PCS gets a boost internationally in the remainder of the season. For example, at Skate Canada International, his free skate received high 6s to low 8s. Perhaps more relevant is his Finlandia free skate, where his PCS marks ranged from mid 7s to low 8s. We shall certainly see, because the hashtag #GoGoLympics are happening. That's right, Stephen will represent Canada at the Winter Olympics next month. Holy, next month? That's kind of crazy. Over 20 points below Stephen in second place was Roman Sadovsky, who still did very well for himself with 255.10. The only error in his free skate was a fall on the second quad sal. He only lagged Stephen by a couple of points in the free, but a messy short was ultimately his undoing. After concluding his Clair de Lune photograph free skate, he was very emotional. I'm wondering how much of that emotion reflected his last effort to secure the Olympic spot, and how much could potentially reflect an upcoming retirement. Whether Roman decides to continue competing or not, he will remain one of Canada's most beloved figure skaters in recent memory. I sort of want him to keep going, because a competition without spins, insert Canada flag, sad, is a competition without sunshine. Alexa Rakic rounded out the podium with 246.02. You know, he's had pretty good consistency this year. His quad toe and triple axel are decently reliable. If he can get another quad, that would certainly elevate him even further. Wesley Chu rounded out the top bracket of men, lagging only about 5 points behind Alexa with 241.48. He looked disappointed in the kiss and cry, seeing he'd most likely lost out on a medal. Still, this is an impressive comeback from injury, and he should be proud that he surpassed his winning score from CanNats 2 seasons ago. Keegan Messing slotted into 5th place, topping off a rather unsuccessful comeback season. His 227.76 score wouldn't even have been enough for gold at either the 2025 or 2024 Nationals, so it didn't stand a chance here. John Kim placed 6th, mainly due to his technical elements. David Bondar in 7th place was the highest ranked of all the Davids, of which there were 4, scoring 211.83 after a solid short but a bit of a disappointing free. Finally, in 8th place we arrive at Anthony Paradis, who again went for the triple axel in both the short and the free, but unfortunately still didn't land either. It's okay, Anthony, we are seated, and we will remain seated until it happens. His choreo sequence in the free was absolutely stunning, and was the highest scored choreo sequence in all the men's free skates. He scored 211.7 overall. The final skater I'll mention here is Grayson Long. It just wasn't his day in either the short or the free. We know what he's capable of, and we've seen it a number of times this season, so hopefully he'll chalk it up to experience, and we'll see him skate better at next year's Nationals. As for the remainder of this season, Grayson has been assigned to Junior Worlds, so we wish him all the best in his competition there. Now, moving on to dance. I gotta pace myself for the senior woman, so I'll try to keep this brief. Exactly what was expected happened. Piper and Paul claimed the gold with 231.05 overall. They received 10s in presentation across the board. This is very unlikely to happen internationally, but it's nice for them to receive on home ice. After they finished skating, there was a lot of noise about a fall deduction, perhaps related to the new choreo where they both do the suddenly popular dying on ice pose, but the score sheet shows no fall. I was just glad they were able to put 2 clean programs together with no bobbles or issues. Lala claimed silver with 217.32. Honestly, I thought this outing of their rhythm dance was one of the weakest I've seen all season, mostly in the beginning and at the end of the program. Their twizzles were a bit off sync, especially in the second set, although it seems only judge number 1 noticed. If they had been scored lower, I wouldn't have been able to argue. They also changed the middle music cut from Thunderstruck to I Got the Power. The issue I had originally with Thunderstruck was that it was super effective at hyping up the rotational lift, but then that hype just kind of petered out and went nowhere. Unfortunately, I think the new music cut is weaker, because not only does it also not hold the hype towards the second half, but in the first half it also fails to hype up the rotational lift as well as Thunderstruck did. So That's my personal subjective 2 cents that you can take or leave, whatever. On to their free dance, though. I thought this was its strongest outing of the season. Marjo's new dress fit the concept better, and they looked very in tune with each other. Just a really great performance. Loriot and Legoc confirmed their bronze and Olympic spot with 200.93, but Fabry and Air did everything they could and also put out 2 great skates. I have the nagging feeling that if Fabry and Air had better material for the past few seasons, they might have been better equipped to challenge for the 3rd Olympic spot. But that's just my personal imagination. Alyssa Robinson and Jacob Ports claimed 5th place, and Henson Lickers took 6th after a fall in both programs. And to juxtapose Bashinska-Perron and Urban Beaumont once more, this time Bashinska-Perron came out on top, flip-flopping from their challenge rankings due to Urban and Beaumont having messier skates. Still a great nationals debut for both teams. Anyways, that's the dance. Now on to the senior woman, first of all mentioning that Catherine Medlin-Spence withdrew after a 56.98 short due to vertigo. She's had many health challenges in the past year and trained and competed through it all. It's truly impressive, and I wish her a quick return to full health. Amy Xiaoning Yang slotted into last place with 128.06 after 2 messy skates. She's either injured or it wasn't her day. I hope the latter. She has a great look and quality of movement, just the jumps were not happening for her this weekend. Sandrine Blais placed 15th in her senior nationals debut, scoring 145.82. It's in the ballpark of her scoring potential these last couple of seasons, so honestly a job well done. Watching via livestream, I could feel that her pacing or maybe timing was off during the free. Perhaps she was excited or just super focused on trying to get those technical elements done. I suppose that will come with more experience. She is a fast skater and exciting to watch for that reason. Hedy Shi placed 14th with 150.78. She's just continuing to struggle to reach those 160 to 170 scores we saw from her a couple of seasons ago. When I've seen her free skates this season, she usually starts off the program alright, but it eventually goes downhill. At this event, even her spins weren't as good as they usually are. She has such potential and good qualities. I hope we can see them through the lens of the clean program in the future. Justine Miquelette had a very rough free, sinking to 13th after a not too shabby 59.76 short. It was a bit painful to watch. The program itself is lovely, however. Brecken Bresden placed 13th with 162.21. She had some jump issues in both programs, sadly. A fall in the short and 3 under-rotated jumps in the free. Still, I was glued to my screen watching her skate. I adore her musicality and her posture. Not too stiff, not too floppy, just right. Uliana Shuryeva had an uncharacteristically rough free, landing her in 11th with just 164.76 points, mainly due to jump issues. Because of her consistency the rest of the season, though, I am not feeling too worried. It was also nice to see her throw in an emergency triple flip triple toe in her short after falling on the opening Lutz, and then proceed to deliver her step sequence with as much performance as I've ever seen from her. Marie-Maude Pomerleau placed 10th with 167.04. For her, this was an amazing result, beating her challenge score by a few points. She is on an upwards trajectory. I also really enjoyed her program choices, especially her 7 Nation Army short. Kaya Ryder landed in 9th with 168.62, about 10 points below her season's best. I did notice both her step sequences received only a level 2, besides the jump issues where most of the points were lost. I love Kaya's skating and I will continue to cheer for her. She's had a tough 2025 and hoping 2026 brings better things for her. Sarah Maud Dupuis had a banger short, scoring 65.74, but unfortunately her free skate fell apart after a fall on the opening triple axel attempt. She scored 169.95 total and came in 8th. Really enjoyed her program choices this season. In fact, she usually has unique and interesting programs. Fée Ann Landry scored 174.34 and landed in 7th. Her short was a bit rocky, but she really came back in the free, doing the most solid program I've seen from her so far this year. The crowd in Gatineau absolutely loved it as well. Her Aurora program is a fan pleaser, so hopefully many fans will be in attendance at 4 continents. That's right, she's been assigned to 4cc, along with Sarah Maud and Gabby Daleman. In 6th was Reese Rose. You know I'm always biting my nails during Reese's free. She did have an issue on the triple loop in the short, so not quite as good as that challenge, but she fought through the free to score 174.43 overall. It wasn't perfect. She went down hard on the triple sal, but she didn't fall apart. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The day that Reese skates a clean free will be a day of much rejoicing for me. And I'm sure for her as well. In 5th was Lulu Lin, which made me personally very, very happy. She improved upon her challenge result, scoring 174.94, which is also a season's best, domestically of course. I forget that she is barely 16 years old, watching her free program, which she performs with such maturity. Lululin is back, y'all. Hashtag live, laugh, Lulu. Yeah, I'm trying to start a movement here. Megan Woodley perhaps impressed me most of anyone, scoring 178.46 and landing in 4th place. Although she was a good chunk of points off the podium, being 4th at Nationals speaks for itself. This score is also her season's best. Of course, I'm speaking in domestic scores. Her free skates started a bit shaky with a hand down on some jump landings, but grew more confident as she went on. In her short, I thought her performance quality really shone through. I would have awarded her a bit more PCS, personally. Excited to see how Megan does next season, and hoping she stays healthy and injury-free. Minsol Kwon landed in 3rd place with 193.18. She was 1st after the short, but fell to 3rd despite landing all her jumps in the free. Why, you may ask? Well, it's that pesky Lutz edge, damn it. She got the full edge call on every Lutz she jumped. Honestly, in the ranks of Canadian senior women next year, it's going to be Minsol Kwon versus her own Lutz edge in the battle for dominance. Still, from people in the venue, I heard that the audience was disappointed with her fall to 3rd. She created a moment that left many thinking she should have placed above the silver medalist, who was Gabby Daleman. Gabby scored 195.35. She was in 2nd after the short with 66.32, but doubled the Lutz, had a bad triple loop, and singled an axel in her free. It was not enough to overcome Madeline Skizas, who was in 4th after the short, where she did a double loop worth no points at all, but skated a clean free, saved the final axel, which was singled. Maddie locked in and delivered when it mattered to just crack 200 points and secure her Olympic spot. But we have to give Gabby her flowers, because of all the comebacks this season, Gabby's by far seemed the most serious and honestly was the most successful, excepting I suppose Sui and Han from China. She's earned multiple medals this season and should be proud of what she accomplished, despite not achieving Olympic selection. And as mentioned, she still has 4 continents ahead of her. But back to Minsol for a moment. Now, I do believe every call Minsol got was fair, and perhaps even her double axel in the sequence could have also been called. However, I would just like to compare Minsol's opening triple toe, which was called Q, to Maddie's opening triple toe, which was called clean. Once more, I wish for consistency in technical panel calls. When it happens like this, it's just giving we are closing our eyes for the Canadian champion and soon-to-be selected Olympian. Not that calling Maddie's triple toe would have changed anything, but at least it would have seemed more fair. Similarly, I feel there were a couple things in Gabby's skate that could have been called, but in the end, the podium is correct, and I hope Minsol will be released to compete for Canada internationally next season, upon which event I shall forget all past grievances and move forward with undying faith. As I hope Skate Canada will as well. Just fix the Lutz edge if you can. So that was Skate Canada Nationals 2026. The Olympic team turned out to be exactly what we expected. Gogolev, Maddie, Deanna and Max, Leah and Trent, Piper and Paul, Lala, and Marie-Jade and Romain. It's probably the best nationals we've had in a few years. Well, you made it to the end, so thanks for watching. I hope to catch Skate Canada Trophy in February, so I'll talk to you then. The Triple Point Skating Award goes to... I really can't decide, guys. There were so many good moments. Gogolev, for making me believe in his short program.